This is Josh Harvey Clemens. I'm here with Abby. And we're going to talk about feedback and reinforcement in Chapter 6. Okay. So, Abby, what sport do you coach?
I coach swimming. I coach here a club team of age groupers at the university, and I've been doing it for about 4 years now.
Okay. And when did you start coaching? How old were you?
I coached a little bit in high school, so I was 17 at the time. So now I'm almost 22.
What motivated you to become a coach? Something that you always wanted to do?
I was a swimmer. Well, I swam for over 17 years, so coaching was really kind of something for me to give a little bit back to the sport that I did for so long.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you deal with your players.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you use reinforcement when dealing with your athletes?
When I'm dealing with my swimmers, you can use lots of reinforcement to promote good behaviors and to really demote bad behaviors from the swimmers.
Right.
I think it really helps in what they are supposed to, they aren't supposed to.
Okay, and if they're doing something that results in positive behaviors, how do you continue that? How do you keep them motivated to do that?
I think the first thing is for me to be really positive with my athletes.
Right.
The more that I tell them good job, or the more that you tell them that they're doing something right, then the more they want to do it because they like having that positive relationship with their coach.
Right.
So that's kind of the first thing, and then the second thing is what I actually do as a coach is we have kind of a lot of team competition in this point system, so individuals kind of earn points or little gold stars for doing good things.
Do you think that competitive success increases intrinsic motivation?
I do. I think it does. I think, it's more fun to be good at what you're doing, and it's more fun to have success in the sport,
Right.
or, in this case, swimming. So, the ones that are seeing success, it helps push them to do a little bit better in practice every day.
Right. And when your players are not doing well, how do you punish them?
So what I was talking about before a little bit was the point system that we have with my group. So I split them up into different teams, and when they do bad things, they get points taken away.
Right.
And so at the end of every couple weeks, we'll have a team winner, and they'll have that. Another way I punish my swimmers is, I yell at them sometimes because sometimes they need that. Sometimes we'll have them do a little bit extra running if they're not listening or things like that to try and reinforce what they're doing is not right.
Right. Okay. And are you involved with some of your team's exercise? Like, do you get involved with them sometimes?
Yeah. We'll do a lot of drills, especially at the beginning of our season.
Right.
And I think it's really good for them to see me do the drills because I have been swimming a lot longer than them, and while my strokes aren't perfect, it's a lot better for them to kind of visualize what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
And sometimes I lead my kids in dry land as well. For swimmers, anything we do on land we call dry land because we're always in the water.
Right.
So sometimes when I'm leading dry land, I'll do it with them, which I think also kind of helps because it shows them that I can do it too, and the stuff that I'm telling them is possible for them to do.
Okay. So what is your biggest challenge as a coach?
My biggest challenge as a coach, I think there's a couple different challenges. One of them is just staying very positive every single day. My boss always says, like, what you do, what's happening in your own life, you have to leave at the door. And so, my job is to help these swimmers be the best that they can be in this sport. So, sometimes it's hard to keep the focus on them the entire time. And I think another challenge is just, keeping control of what my kids are doing. The age group that I have is young teenagers, so they're 12 to 15-year-olds, and they they're at that age where they think that they know everything is right, and they know the world better than anybody else. So it's just maintaining that coach-swimmer relationship with them.
Okay, and speaking of keeping that relationship, how do you communicate with them, like as far as feedback, and do they come to you like for advice?
Yeah, so I try to give as much feedback during practice, first of all, as possible. Swimming's really good with that because you're seeing them, swim multiple laps at a time, and you're able to kind of nitpick very specific technical things to give them feedback on. So the first way is giving them feedback during practice. I also encourage a lot of my swimmers to come talk to me, once a week after practice, or some of them even every day after practice, just so they can check in, see how they're doing. If it's necessary for me to give some negative feedback and make sure that they're then getting on the right track, I can do that, or I can give them a little more positive feedback so they're feeling, better about, okay, everything I did today and everything I did this week is helping me achieve my goals. So a lot of it's just communication, talking to them all the time. And they're fairly open with me. They talk to me about a lot of stuff. Sometimes I think, it's good to have a friendly relationship because then they are more willing to talk to you.
Right. So you find that effective.
Yeah. And that kind of does lead into a challenge sometimes because, sometimes you have to be the bad guy. And, they don't always like that. And, they'll get mad at you for it. But, that's my job. It's for that to happen.
Right. So how do you, if your team is winning, how do you keep them focused to keep them continue to want to win?
How do I keep them focused?
Well, how some teams, they'll win and they'll kind of like slag off in practice. But they, like you said, know it all now.
Yeah. I guess we try to manage as best we can. When we do come off of a big swim meet where a lot of them did really well, we'll take the first day or two after that meet to, praise the good things that they did, but then at the same time kind of look at what still needs to be improved. So we'll take a couple days to really focus solely on technique work, have a little bit of fun too after the meet, so they have a day that's not so hard, and that kind of like resets the cycle for them to be ready to work hard again.
All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you for your time. That wasn't long enough?
No, we need a couple